Hello and welcome. In this tutorial or in this video, we will talk about Web of Science. Web of Science is a website that gives us access to papers published in multiple databases through a single website that includes Emerald, Sage, Springer, Science Direct, Wiley, and others. Now, it's often very useful to have a website that gives us direct access to all these databases or paper published in all these databases. So we know that what kind of research is prevalent and what research has been done. So instead of searching all these databases separately, it's always recommended that one should search Web of Science. Now, Web of Science takes a basic search string, and you've got a number of options where to search a particular keyword. You can search it as a topic, where the search is it searches the title, abstract, the keywords, and others. Or you are just focused on searching the title, or maybe author, the publication name, and then it searches for the journal titles, book titles, proceeding titles, and others. So you can have a look at each one of them and then find out which option is most suitable to you. In this case, for now, we will be using title. Let's say if I'm interested in conducting my research in servant leadership. So if I type servant leadership, without the inverted commas, it will search for two words, servant and leadership. But I'm interested in searching for servant leadership. So let's put this in inverted commas and press search. Now here are the results. According to Web of Science, there has been 344 research publications that has servant leadership in their title. Now, moving on, let's see, there are 63 open access papers that are ready to download, and these are the publication years. Now, if you are planning to conduct your own research, it is always recommended that you focus on maybe last 2-3 years. Or when you are writing the literature, obviously you can go back 10 years, 15 years, and include maybe seminal work in your area of interest. Now, there are different categories that one can look into. You can always select papers that are just focused on management, applied psychology, business, hospitality, educational research. For instance, if you are interested in doing a systematic literature review and you want to focus on the use of servant leadership in or studies in servant leadership pertinent to the area of hospitality, or maybe education, or maybe just management, or maybe sports or economics or public administration. So this list can give you access to all those papers. For instance, in this case, let's say I'm interested in management, business and management. So once refined, there are 188 papers left. And if I'm interested in just what is published in the last years so that I can advance the existing research, there are 12 papers. So I'll select 2020. So now I've got 12 papers. Furthermore, if you want it specific to an organization or a university or an educational establishment, you can select that as well. You can select the funding agencies. If you're looking into a particular author who has published in the last year, so you can look into that as well. And there is other options. You can look for specific journal, and this will give you an idea what journals are publishing or which journals are publishing in this particular area. So you can target your journals as well. Let's say I've got these 12 papers. So let's increase this list from here. Let's say I need a minimum of 25 papers per page. So here is this paper, the effect of servant leadership, perceived organizational support, job satisfaction, and job embeddedness on turnover intention and empirical investigation. This is published in Evidence-Based HRM Global Forum for Empirical Scholarship. So here are these papers. You can now go to their website. You can now go to the journal website to download these papers. Let's say if I'm interested in one of the papers. This is a systematic literature review. And this is pertinent to the management and hospitality sector. So let's say. Here is the paper. So let's download this paper. It's always a good idea to go and search for systematic literature reviews because they give us a detailed direction for future research. So once you have these kind of papers, you can easily draft your own model, your own proposal for research. And let us download this paper. Again, as mentioned in one of the previous videos, do not rely on one single paper for your model. Always try to focus on multiple papers. So take gaps from multiple papers. So this strengthens your paper on one side, and there's very minimal risk that somebody will replicate your model in a similar manner. So if you go through this paper, you will find out that they will have recommended a number of ways or avenues for future research. Now they've given some model as well, the nomenological network. And if we go down, so they haven't, okay, here are very rich directions on future research. So one should go into detail of what they have recommended, and they can base their model on this as well. Now they are saying that, okay, you can obviously, there are certain behaviors that are studied, and the future researchers can change these behaviors or add more behaviors and conduct more research in this particular area. So this is how you can search for a particular variable, a particular area in your research. Now, let's go back and let's see if we can further use Web of Science for a different kind of search string. Let's say if I'm interested in, and this was all about a particular topic, a particular area, servant leadership. Let's say if I'm interested in a couple of variables. Let's say I'm interested in servant leadership and job performance. And let's say if there is some work done in this area. But now I'm interested in, let's say, if in last 5 years there has been a research on servant leadership and job performance. But again, there is one thing that one should consider. It could either be job performance and it could either be employee performance. So what we could do is we can change this string, and instead of only job, we can say employee. So now the search is that the title should have servant leadership. It should have either job or employee. See, this is embedded in parentheses, and then it should have this word performance. Let's search in the last 5 years. No, there hasn't been any research in this area in the last 5 years. Let's say if there has been at all any research. Okay, missing quotation. So there is an error. Yes, it's a good thing that we got this error. There has to be, it should be embedded in proper quotation marks. So let's say last 5 years again. Yes, there has been 9 research studies from 2016 to 2019 that have been, or that have evaluated the impact of servant leadership on employee performance or employee job performance. So this gives us a more clear idea as to what research is prevalent in this area, and out of which only 7 are research articles. And in the field of business and management and social sciences, there has been only 7 studies. So we can say this is a very limited research. So let's say I'm interested in this paper. This is 2016, or maybe let's say this paper. So once you click, so whatever paper you are interested in, you can just click and download that paper, look into the details of that paper, look into what they have done and what they have recommended for future. So let's say we've got this paper, or you can download any other paper for that matter. So here is the paper which we downloaded. Now, if we can go scroll down, and here is the model they have worked on. Now, it's a multi-level study with level 1 on employees' performance and level 2 focused on leadership. Now, if we go down and we focus on the limitations that they have identified. So using those limitations and future research direction, maybe we can obviously improve this model and add more variables to the model. Similarly, in this particular area, you can look into other papers that have used similar manner to, if we can now if we look into this rest of the papers. So here are other papers that have evaluated the impact of servant leadership on employee performance. So we can use another paper to look into what they have suggested that what future researchers should do. So using 2 or 3 papers from this list, one can come up with their own model. So if they have recommended something, you can use this as a guideline in your introduction, which obviously we'll be focusing on in our future videos on how to write a research introduction. So one can use this support, these recommendations to build on their own model. Now let's change this a bit, this search a bit. So let's say if I'm interested in servant leadership, but I'm more or less interested in, not in another variable, but I'm interested in education. So because servant leadership could be a vital leadership style in education. Actually, my focus is higher education. So the title could have education, higher education, or maybe higher education institution, or maybe university. So this is how you can search for a particular term in a particular area. So let's search. Okay, there are only 7 studies on servant leadership in higher education. Now, this shows that there are multitude of gaps prevalent in this particular area, because there has been only say 7 studies, and out of which in 2009 and 2020 there have been 5 studies. So you can use this to build onto your own research. So one of them is my study as well. So good to see on Web of Science actually. So you can have you can analyze these results further if you want, or just hold on, it's loading. Okay, 2 of the paper are in medicine, one in economics, one in management journal internal. So 40, and that's the percentage. Obviously, this would be much rich if there are more papers. So how the publication years, the document types, and then you can have these details as well. You can download these details as well to share it with your supervisor, maybe your colleagues and others. And one important thing, let's say if I'm interested in doing an SLR. Let's say I am interested in doing an SLR on, let's change the topic. I'm interested in corporate social responsibility and organizational performance. Now, one should know that corporate social responsibility is known by other names as well. So whenever you are conducting a research, you should know whether or not your variable is known by other names. For instance, in this case, it's also referred to as social responsibility. It's better to put it in bracket, so they are the same thing. So that's why it's always okay. Let's say it's also known by corporate citizenship. Check for spellings. Or it's also known as business social responsibility. And since it's a common term, so sometimes it's abbreviated in your title. So let's say, okay, I'm interested in conducting a SLR in this particular area. And let's search. Okay, error missing parenthesis. Okay, good. Where is this error? Here's a spelling mistake as well. Okay, we added one extra parenthesis that was not required. So let's search. Okay. Okay, let's go for all years, search. Let's do this again. Corporate social responsibility or social responsibility or corporate citizenship or business social responsibility or CSR and organizational performance. So again, please keep an eye on spellings. And now you search and there is no problem. So in total, there are 20 papers that have used these terms. Let's go back. Let's do this search again. Okay. But instead of organizational performance, you can have business performance as well. Or you can have firm performance as well. So again, in order to make sure, and in SLR, it's always required that you have a rich number of results that are then obviously papers are selected from the. So firm performance or business performance or organizational performance are normally the terminologies we use. Let's go for the search. And now from 20, you've got 111 results. So this is how you can search for specific. Now I'm interested in articles. So there are 93 articles. I'm not interested in anything. So I'm interested in doing an SLR based on the articles that have evaluated the impact of corporate social responsibility on firm performance. You can easily see the abstract here. If you do not want the whole paper, you can easily go for the abstract here. And let's say if you've got a full text here. Okay, the Journal of Asian Business, Finance, Economics and Business, and we can download the PDF. Open. So this is how you can use the existing research, existing papers, existing articles, and search for them on Web of Science. And obviously, this will give you a more clear picture as to what is available in existing research on the area where you want to research. So you can obviously select options. If you are not interested in science citation and index, and if you are only interested in social sciences, art and humanities, you're not interested in conference proceedings, and you're only interested in sciences citation index, social sciences citation index, or whatever your interest is, You can obviously look into or check those. Auto suggest publication names. This is another option. Default number of searches fields. So you can obviously change it to the number of fields it searches. So I hope this video will help you to identify or to gather or collect the research prevalent in your particular area. So this is how you can write your search strings. Using these search string, you can search any number of papers that are available in these databases. Thank you very much for your time.